Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, it is so great to have you. I'm Antoinette, a New Zealander living in the beautiful wine region of Lower Franconia, Germany. As a New Zealander living in Germany, Germans will sometimes say to me things like, you're so lucky that your native language is English and that you are teaching your children English. It is going to be so beneficial to them. It is the international language. People often refer to English as an international language that brings people together. For example, at international events like the Olympic Games, English is a language used for communication reasons because many people can speak English. Many of you might be quite surprised to learn that in certain regions of Europe, speaking German can be far more beneficial than relying solely on English. Many of the locals have a very high level of German. They not only speak German fluently, but they prefer to speak German over English for effective communication. I have definitely noticed this on my travels. Not with every country, it definitely is very handy to speak English when traveling, but there are certain countries where I've noticed you can't always get by speaking English and relying on English. I was actually really surprised when I visited the Czech Republic for the first time, more specifically the Karlovy Vary region of the Czech Republic. I was expecting to be able to maybe get by speaking English because I certainly do not speak Czech. But I soon found out that while some of the locals speak a decent level of English, many of the locals actually spoke a very decent level of German. This really surprised me, and I was not expecting this at all. In this picturesque Karlovy Vary region, known for its stunning spa towns and rich history, German holds significant importance. Due to historical ties and a considerable number of German-speaking tourists, locals often communicate in German. Understanding the German language can definitely enhance your experience when visiting local attractions or dining at traditional restaurants in the Karlovy Vary region of the Czech Republic. Speaking of Karlovy Vary, this is one of my favorite destinations to visit with my family, and we have been there multiple times in different parts of this region, and we've always had such a fantastic time. Whenever we visit this region, my family and I stay at Revelton. When it comes to travel, finding the perfect accommodation can make all the difference. That's why we keep returning to Revelton, a unique and modern chain of studios and apartments that never fails to exceed our expectations. One of the standout features of Revelton is their seamless, contactless check-in and check-out process. During our most recent visit to Karlovy Vary, my family and I stayed at the executive studio located right in the heart of the city. As soon as we stepped inside, we were greeted by a vibrant and modern interior that set an amazing atmosphere for our stay. The design was both fun and functional, making it an absolute joy to spend time in. The spacious layout of the studio was really impressive. We felt right at home with all of the details thoughtfully arranged for a worry-free stay. Our studio featured 3 large TVs with numerous entertainment options, including a gaming console that kept our kids happily occupied during downtime. There was also a wide selection of books we were able to read. One of our favourite aspects of staying at Revelton was having access to a fully equipped kitchen. There's something special about sharing a homemade meal while travelling, and it definitely saves you lots of money. We also discovered an awesome on-site obstacle illusion museum, which we all really enjoyed. Additionally, there was a dedicated playroom where our kids could have fun while we relaxed nearby. The team at Revelton was so attentive and incredibly helpful. Their commitment to guest satisfaction is evident in every interaction. If you're seeking a comfortable, modern and unique accommodation experience, look no further than Revelton. I've included a link in my video description so you can explore their offerings for yourself. So next up is the beautiful, picturesque Alsace region of France. I was quite surprised to learn that my English level skills did not take me very far in this region. In fact, most of the locals could not speak English or they decided they didn't want to speak English. I don't know what it was, but you just can't get by speaking English in the Alsace region of France. But German, on the other hand, so many of the locals speak German, and really, really good German. The Alsace region of France presents a unique blend of French and German culture due to its geographical proximity to Germany. Many residents are bilingual with a strong command in both languages. When exploring charming towns like Strasbourg or Colmar, speaking German can help you connect more deeply with the local culture and heritage. When my family and I were visiting Strasbourg, I remember arriving at our Airbnb, which was owned by a French couple. When we arrived, my husband and I initially started speaking English with our Airbnb hosts, and they could not understand a word that we were saying, and then they asked if we spoke German. And to our surprise, they spoke a pretty decent level of German, so we just continued communicating in German. Also, just out and about in the city, you will hear a lot more German than English. In restaurants, if you can't speak French, I would recommend you learning a little bit of French before visiting France, but if you can't speak French, then German is the next best thing. And next up is the Netherlands. So many Dutch people speak a very impressive level of German. As far as I know, this applies to most areas of the Netherlands. Not only do many Dutch people speak a high level of German, but most Dutch people speak a very high level of English, so you can kind of pick and choose when you're in the Netherlands. I remember last time we were in the Netherlands, my family and I stayed in a beautiful coastal town called Egmond aan Zee. I think it was about an hour's drive away from Amsterdam. We did visit Amsterdam, but we spent most of our time in this gorgeous little coastal town that actually reminded me a little bit of New Zealand. So I was really, really surprised to learn that most Dutch people spoke German, and not just a little bit of German, really good fluent German with a Dutch accent, which sounds so cool. So I remember when we were signing in to our accommodation, the guy at reception obviously had overheard my family speaking a mix of English and German, and he asked us in German, what language do we prefer? He can speak English or German or Dutch. And then my husband just replied to him in German because that's easiest for him, and then they went on speaking German. And I remember Rob saying to me that he was really impressed by this guy's level of German. We actually thought it was just this particular guy that spoke a high level of German, and then we soon learnt that many of the locals also spoke really awesome German. While Dutch is the official language of the Netherlands, many Dutch people speak excellent German due to historical connections and proximity to Germany. The Dutch locals in general are known to speak great German, but in border areas and major cities in particular, you'll find that knowing some German can result in smoother interactions in shops, restaurants, and public transport. So next up is Italy, more specifically the beautiful city of Bzano. I only briefly visited Bzano when my husband and I were driving to our honeymoon in Venice, and we crossed through Bzano. I definitely noticed that there was a very high level of German spoken in the city, and I'm pretty sure the same goes for all of this region. In Bzano, located in South Tyrol, Italian and German coexist in harmony. The region has a significant population of native German speakers who maintain their cultural identity while embracing Italian influences. Speaking German in this area not only aids communication but also enriches your understanding of this culturally diverse area. This definitely explained to me why I heard so many German speakers in this area of Italy when I was expecting just to hear Italian. So it definitely paid off being able to speak German when we were visiting, but I must say it's always been a dream of mine to learn Italian. Maybe I will one day. That would be incredible to be able to speak Italian in Italy. So last but not least is Croatia. When my family and I were visiting Croatia on our family holiday, we were really surprised to know that we were better off speaking German in Croatia than we were English. So we stayed specifically in the area of Seni in Croatia, but I've heard that this applies to all of the touristy areas in Croatia. Croatia has become an increasingly popular tourist destination over recent years, especially along its stunning stunning coastlines and historic cities. In these tourist-heavy areas, many locals speak fluent German due to the influx of visitors from Germany and Austria. Knowing some basic phrases can greatly enhance your travel experience by fostering better interactions with shopkeepers and service staff. We were staying in an Airbnb, which was hosted by a gorgeous Croatian lady who spoke absolutely no English, but she spoke a pretty decent level of quite broken German, but we could definitely communicate with her. When we were in restaurants and supermarkets and shops in Croatia, we definitely got a lot further speaking German than we did with English, which was really surprising for me. While English may dominate as an international language, there are numerous regions across Europe where proficiency in German opens up doors to richer experiences and deeper connections with the locals. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It really helps out my channel. If you enjoy my content and you haven't already subscribed, I would love you to consider subscribing to my channel. That would mean the world to me. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram, and I will see you again really soon. Bye!